Grand existence, citizens of the simulation. My name is Nicholas Jensen Denton, and this is JD's Pharmacopoeia. I'm giving you a little introduction today on Dr. Mark Nelson, just contextualizing my past video so that you can understand why I felt it necessary to put on this channel. Because it's a really cool story, and frankly, I'm super excited about it, and I think the world should know. But I'm going to try to condense this and keep it all really short because it's just an introduction. I feel compelled to do this because I did not get the entire video, the entire recording. There was a fuck up, for lack of better words, on the technology, and so we only got the last 30 minutes of that presentation, I think it is. At any rate, as you know, JD's Pharmacopoeia operates as an extraction lab specializing in spagyric alchemical medicines mainly, but also I'll do anything, I'll extract anything from anything, I'll make you whatever you want. At this point, I understand that I have to branch out. I know too much, and so that's what happened. That's how I connected with Dr. Mark Nelson, because I was just doing some shopping online, trying to build up my extraction lab. By the way, so I was buying a Soxhlet, not by the way, forget that. I was buying a Soxhlet, or I think the Solet or something, the X is silent, they say. Somebody help me out, I don't speak French. I was buying a Soxhlet on his website. It was like a 1 liter Soxhlet, came with a 2 liter or was it a 2 liter Soxhlet, 3 liter boiling flask? We're talking liters, Soxhlet size, volume, and boiling flask and condenser, 3-in-1. I think it was $80 total. Insanely cheap. If you're looking for lab supplies, lab equipment, extraction equipment, analytical stuff, chromatography, chemistry related shit, go to cplabs.com, CP Lab Safety. Mark Nelson was helping to start the company with 2 of his chemistry friends or something, I'm not sure. 2 people he's acquainted with. Dude is in the network, as I'm about to explain. But I ordered this thing, and I kept getting calls from this company, reaching out about the product I bought. And I'm like, I don't really want to talk to people asking me about why I'm buying their products, because sense of privacy or whatever. Who's asking, But he was persistent, and he kept emailing, he kept calling. Finally called my phone one day, because put my number in there, I guess, and he hits me up, and he's like, hey, I'm Mark. You bought my Soxhlet, I noticed. How are you liking it? Is it going good? And I was like, dude, it's going great. Thank you for the customer service. Everything's good. He's like, what do you do? So we got to start to talk, and I told him what I do, and he told me what he does, and he was like, well, then we really started talking, because what he does, he's a medicinal chemist, got a bachelor's degree in medicinal chemistry, and then he went to go get his PhD. I can't remember where, I'm sorry. Look him up on Wikipedia if you want to know more, or basically everything I'm about to tell you, because he is he was awarded the Chemistry Hero designation from the American Chemistry Society, which is the forerunning prominent authority on chemistry in the industry for everything. Not for everything. There's a lot of entities out there, but that's one of the oldest, one of the most authoritative bodies on chemistry. They gave him this award because he discovered a unique a yeast-produced metabolite from an ancient beer recipe produced by Nubian royalty 2,000 years ago. So basically, he was working. The story is in the video, but basically, I'm not going to spoil the story for you here, actually, because it's really good. But actually, yes, I am. It's crazy, because it is the ideal thing to happen for any medicinal chemist, plant chemist, pharmacognosist, ethnobotanist, ethnopharmacologist. This is the story you want. This is the ideal scenarios that you go to school, you get educated, you get interested, you start doing some research, you find a wonder drug that comes out of anywhere. It could come from anywhere. In this case, it came from traditional culture in East Africa, which is now Sudan, and then you extract it, you patent the extraction, or you sell it to some company. You take the drug, you take the compound, and then you mass produce it, make it available for the culture. And so what he did is he found a new class of antibiotics called tetracyclines, which happen to be saturating the bones of these mummies and fluoresced under UV light, meaning they glowed in the dark, essentially. They glowed in the light too, but you can't see it because it's light out. They glowed in the dark. And so the archaeologist is like, hey man, why the heck are these things glowing? Can you figure it out? Almost like kind of randomly. Like I said, he's just in a network. Once you know a bunch of people, you hear a bunch of stuff, the hive mind starts working for you. And he said, yeah, sure, send me that stuff. I'll extract it. I'll figure out what's in it. Lo and behold, it's an antibiotic that has been used, they hypothesize, intentionally by these ancient Nubians over 2,000 years ago, intentionally for its medicinal effects, because the beer, which was the medicinal properties of the beer was attributed to the tetracycline compounds, which were antibiotics. The first ever reported case in human history of what we believe to be intentional use of antibiotics, beating Alexander Fleming out of the water by, 1900 years, 1970 years or something. People say he should give his Nobel Prize back because Alexander Fleming was just like a lazy dude who never cleaned up his stuff and went on vacation a lot. And one day he came home, there's an orange growing some mold on it. And he's like, oh, let's just play around with this in the lab, right? He got lucky. He got really lucky. And so they gave him the Nobel Prize for discovering the first antibiotic. I forget the name right now, but the important ones are about these Nubians 2,000 years ago, tetracyclines. So he gets the compound out of the mummy bones. They're effective. They test them on different cell cultures. They're effective against the plague. And so the government put it in the national stockpile for bioweapon defense in case there's a plague outbreak. And it's effective against a bunch of other microbes, and it's incredibly useful. It's been put into I think 4 different pharmaceutical drugs, and it immortalized this dude in my eyes. He is definitely a chemistry hero because of what I just told you. So the key is that anytime you can help improve somebody's life or help solve a little bit of a larger problem, then good things happen for you. But essentially, that's what put him into this position of being able to run lab supply companies and sit back and call his customers and talk recreationally to everybody about what they're doing. And as I'm learning all this and putting it together, I'm like, God, this guy is fucking awesome. And so I can't share too much, but we're working together now on a project, and hopefully some comes to fruition of that, because it's a great idea, but we'll see about the actual technical application in the world and the politics of the whole thing. But so we're in contact now. And so I was saying to him, I was like, doctor, you have a great story. I don't know if you realize this. He probably does realize this. But I was like, you need to talk to these kids at this school that I just graduated from, man, because your story is inspiring and they need that fire. They need that inspiration from people like you. And so he put together a master document on a lot of stuff. If you want the full presentation, I have it. I have the slideshow. I don't have all the video talk. The only video talk we got on video is on my YouTube channel, but I can send you the whole presentation because there is some really interesting information in there if you're interested in medicine and chemistry, history, ancient Nubians, mummies' bones, stories about all sorts of shit. He's a hilarious dude, very high energy. We vibe like that, fucking. So I reached out to the school and I was like, yo, connect. And he said yes, they said yes. They put it on. They put the club on, but like I said, technological difficulty got messed up. I think a lot of the really good bits are still there for sure. And just with like a little bit of this context I'm giving you now, hopefully you can understand it a little bit more. But in the presentation, like he covered a lot of different topics, and it's mainly about, I don't know, I guess you could just say chemistry, but highly recommend checking it out, reading into the story or whatever. You don't have to do anything. If you need lab supplies, check him out. Plug in his website. But that's really it. That's why that's up there, because I orchestrated it. I met the dude. I'm like, I'm inspired, and if it inspired me, it's bound to inspire others. So I don't know. I felt like I had to explain that, or at least give a little preface forewarning about what you're about to watch, because it starts in the middle of nowhere, which kind of pissed me off, really. But we're good now. Back in our zen. Existence is grand. Existence is grand. Peace to you. Peace on earth. Peace among the spiritual realms.